Dr. Osterholm, I want to start with you. You called what happened on the Diamond Princess cruise ship, quote, one of the cruelest human experiments you've seen in your entire career. Truly one of our public health lesser moments. What is your reaction to what you saw on the cruise ship and the American public health officials' decision-making around it?
Well, first of all, they should have come off the ship in the very earliest days. We have worked up many different cruise ship outbreaks of other infectious diseases where we know that viruses are actually transmitted through the air inside these cabins in the ship. There's very, very poor air circulation, recirculation problems. And so it shouldn't have been a surprise that by putting them on there and keeping them on there that this was going to happen. So I think there were a number of us, and you may recall, Meg, even 3 weeks ago, we talked about the need to get them off the ship at that time. And so I think that I'm glad they're off. I think it's really important, but I think every cruise ship where there's a case like this right now, the first thing you do is get people off the ship. Don't keep them on it.
Dr. Gottlieb, but what did you make of the comments there from Dr. Fauci about his level of confidence that we're not seeing cases spread across the U.S. unknowingly at this stage?
Well, we can hope that that's right. Meg elicited a key detail that the 6 cities that they're going to be doing what they call sentinel surveillance, trying to look at cases of diagnosis of flu where the patients don't actually test positive for flu, but it looks like influenza-like illness, and see if it in fact could be coronavirus. Those samples are now going to be sent back to the CDC. So that's going to dramatically limit the number of sampling that they're going to be able to do because the CDC lab is limited in how many samples that they can run. They might be better off, rather than taking a random sample, which is probably what they're going to be doing, just letting doctors around the country send suspicious cases to the CDC, because I'm sure that there's physicians seeing indeterminate cases of severe pneumonia that look suspicious, that aren't explained by influenza or other pathogens that they're able to test for, that they'd like to be ruling out coronavirus in this environment.
Dr. Osterholm, the case numbers, or at least the test numbers we've seen from the CDC imply they have only tested fewer than 500 people in the United States. Do you think that this could be circulating undetected here?
Well, first of all, take a step back. The case numbers that we keep reciting every day are really not very meaningful in the sense that we're getting a grab sample of the people who are infected out there and testing those. And so we put far too much precision to these estimates. I think right now the bottom line message is that this virus is acting just like an influenza virus. It's transmitting just like it. We see many of the same dynamics around the world with that. And no one has ever been able to stop an influenza virus with containment. It's like trying to stop the wind. And so, to me, I am quite convinced that we'll continue to see widespread transmission. It would not surprise me to see transmission that has ongoing here in the United States in the first, second, or third generations, where even 32 or 64 cases have resulted from one person. But remember, 80% are mild to asymptomatic illnesses, giving you only out of that 32, maybe 3 people that would actually be hospitalized. So I think that the challenge we have right now is, in fact, getting the kind of testing done that Dr. Gottlieb just mentioned and getting those results. That'll tell us what's happening.
Dr. Osterholm, because it's so hard to stop it from spreading, you think it's much more important to treat people once they have it and stop the level of the illness elevating?
Well, first of all, again, we don't have a repertoire of treatments that are going to be all that effective beyond supportive care. And surely that can be important. I think the most important thing we have to do right now is back off this concept we're going to contain it and get people to concentrate on what I call mitigation. We need to right now beef up our protection for healthcare workers in our country and throughout the world. Look at what's happened in China. Look at the outbreak in Italy, where just a few cases, and we already have 5 healthcare workers that are infected. And once we lose those frontline soldiers against this fight, then we're really in trouble, because they not only are no longer care providers, but they're care required providers. And that's what we really are concerned about. So we need to make sure we have the right respiratory protection, the kinds of things that will protect them so that they can keep providing medical care. That's what we need to be concentrated on right now. Mm-hmm.